Hi everybody, Jessie here from JessieBanks.com and welcome back to another card making video. So today I am using MFT's Adventures Calling, pardon me. I will have links to everything in the description box down below as per usual. I do use affiliate links where I can. All that money goes back into this channel and then some, so I truly do appreciate when you shop through those links. Don't feel obligated though by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm starting off by coloring our little girl here. I stamped her out on some Copic friendly paper using the MFT Extreme Black ink. And I started off with E04 and now I'm into the E13. As per always, I do color dark to light and I do only use one coat usually. Sometimes I go in a little bit extra at the end if I feel it needs a little extra shading, but normally it is one coat of color. That's just how I have taught myself to color over the years and how I prefer to do it. Some people prefer going light to dark and then back, or however you feel it works for you. Just practice and have fun. That's kind of the name of the game. So I'm just slowly working my way through those colors and I'm making sure I blend over everything that I colored before so that I kind of get a seamless transition in between all of these colors as opposed to having some harsh lines. And I really just like the look that it achieves all said and done. I kept her kind of a super deep, kind of like a neutrally type color scheme, even though there's a blue in it and stuff. I just really went for some desaturated colors, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I'm starting off with the E70 set of markers to color in the top of her hat and the majority of her dress, keeping it nice and dark. I really had a blast using this set of colors. I've always loved it. These browns kind of have a purpley hue to them and I find them really, really pretty. I don't use them a whole ton, but I really enjoy them when I do decide to reach for them on the odd occasion. I have a ton of Copics. I try to use them all. I don't have the whole collection. I don't think I'll ever own the whole collection. Every time I need some refills, I usually order like another 3 markers. So maybe one day, but currently not yet. So I'm into the E74 and it's the same situation as the skin. I am blending back over top of all of those darker colors as I go into the lighter ones just to give myself a smooth transition between colors. My cat is meowing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It sounds like he's crying and I'm not sure why. So once I did that, I decided that I wanted to do the center of her shoes and her soles there and the bust part of her dress, the brown as well, just to give it a little bit more of that color and less of the blue. So I'm just zipping back through those colors, filling in those little areas. And then I'm going to pull out the BG 78, 75, 72... Yeah, 72 in the BG 70, so that series of markers, which is what I'm using right now, just to create kind of a desaturated teal color. Like I said, I had a blast with this one, you guys. It's a lot of coloring at the start, and then we'll get into the background of the card. It's been a long time since I've done an entire process video like this, and I know at the end I forgot to film like the last little bit where I glue the card front onto the card base, and I wave bye-bye at everybody, so that's missing because I don't know, had a lapse and didn't bother to do it this time, I guess. So I'm blending all that out with the BG 70. And now I'm going to pull out the E44, 43, 41, I do believe, just to fill in her hair and give her kind of a lighter brown hair color. This is another one, this combo I reach for all the time. You guys have seen it over and over again, especially if you look at my blog, because I use it a ton when I make my Greening Farm cards for the design team and all that kind of fun stuff. It's one of my favorite go-tos, and I can make it look a lot more brown or a lot more blonde, depending on how much of the darker and how much of the lighter color I put into it. The E89, so this is another brown series of markers. Like I said, I went really desaturated with this one, but these ones have a green hue to them. And I'm filling in the main part of her suitcase with these markers, and it's always the same process, dark to light. That's the way I like to color. The paper I'm using is Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock. It's the one I grabbed. I use the 80 pound too. I kind of use them interchangeably. I use them both for Copic markers. It depends on the day. So it's just what I grabbed. I find either of those work wonderfully. And then I just took this E99, which is like an orangey color, to fill in the trim on the suitcase. Kept it simple, didn't do any shading on that. Those are some pretty narrow little lines. Cut it out with my cutter beam markers, and then I just brought my white Posca pen and I'm doing a little bit of white dots. I used to use a Uniball Signo gel pen and I just had issues with it, so I bought one of these paint markers and I have a great time. So now I have some Distress Oxides here, some white pigment ink. I cut out this circle onto some masking paper, and I have a brick stencil there as well that I'm going to create a little bit of a background for her with. So this is what I cut, the circle I cut out, and I'm going to lay that on the top to start in order to give her some ground to stand on. This is pumice stone distress oxide. I love the way these look on top of craft paper. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And then I'm just going to add in a little bit of the ground espresso, and then I'll lift that one off, and I let it dry for a little bit and come back and add the bottom back over top. So that's what I masked out before. I'm just putting that over top so I can work on the top part. And I'm going to pull in that brick stencil here, and I'm going to start by going in with the Hero Hues white ink and kind of filling that in, and then I'm going to come in with the fired brick and aged mahogany in order to create the color of the brick and just kind of have a little bit of texture to it. So we're coming in with the fired brick to start. I'm just using a makeup sponge. I wanted something a little smaller than what the circle ink blending tools give me, so I grabbed one of these to use. I like them. They're cheap. They work about the same, and I can throw them away when I'm done, so I don't feel like I have to hang on to them forever. I get really messy when I do it this way, but I find that it works a little better when I'm doing kind of tight corners like this where I want a bunch of different shades to show through, and I'm not just blending all the texture. Now I grab that circle die again, and this is my Luminance white pencil, and I'm just going to trace the outside of that circle with it. My head is in the way. Wouldn't be a Jessie video without the head in the way. And then I'm going to go back in and trace over top of that and just kind of darken it up a little bit so that it's a little more stark white on top of that craft background. You can see how where I go over the distress oxides, it doesn't show up quite as well, but I really like the way it turned out. Added a little bit of gold thread there, and then we're going to pop her up on top. And then I took some, these are just like old cork shapes I had in my stash, and I die cut the word high out of them after I painted them white, so it's got like the cork texture, but they're white. I thought it looked really cute. This is done with the big lettered dies from MFT. I'm not sure what they are called off of hand, but I will have them linked down below. And then I put the Adventurous Calling sentiment underneath, going through with my Posca pen, and then I'm going to add some gold details as well. And that'll be it for this card, you guys. I'll glue that onto a card base, and we'll call this one complete. I had a blast making this card. I really enjoyed working in all the layers and on top of craft paper for a little bit of a change. I hope you guys liked the card, and if you did, I would love it if you gave the video a thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, I'd love for you to subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. I love to read what you guys have to say, and I'll see you very soon in another one. Bye for now.